Hi Aries, and welcome to your Love Story Tarot reading for August 2019. With this particular reading, I'm going to follow one storyline, so it will either apply and resonate or it won't fit at all, okay? So Aries, I'm going to start out by pulling a card to see what's going on internally inside of you, and as well as the other person, you know, showing up in this love story. Now also, Aries, I tend to read you on this side and the other person on this side. If you resonate more on that side as you, that's fine. Feel free to swap it. Same if you're a cross watcher. If you feel like you're more over here and Aries is there, feel free to swap it. Okay, so let's see, Aries, what is okay. It's a little bonus card there. I felt it trying to jump out. Let's see what's going on inside of you. All right, so we have repeating cycles and lessons. So Aries, you might be questioning some things in August when it comes to your partner, your love, whether you're together or apart. We haven't established that yet, but you're definitely questioning things because it's like the same thing, it seems to happen over and over. So if this is a new opportunity for you and this person, it's like you're really questioning it, or if you are in it, you're really questioning the actual relationship. Now, internally, they're coming through as personal life path journey. So Aries, this lets you know that the person coming through in your love reading, they're very focused on their internal world, their goals, their dreams, what they want out of life, what really matters to them. They could actually be in a place of desire of being alone, being solo, not wanting to be partnered with anybody, or it could be like they just feel very distant. It's because they're very internally focused right now for some reason. And look at this. We have reaching out. Okay, so there is the missing piece. This, to me, Aries, you know, this could really highly indicate a relationship that is separated. But this here, it doesn't have to mean that. It means there's a lot of distance in this connection. And it's because this person here has a lot of you know, self-growth, self-awareness to come into, and it looks like they're at that place within themselves in August, like really internally focused. And you, Aries, it's like you don't want the same thing to repeat over and over and over. So even if you've been with this person for a long time, it's like, I'm ready for a change between us. Like, I want to communicate better. I want us to be happier. You know, there's something like that going on. But this is beautiful, Aries, because this tells me there is this coming together between you and this person in August, where you are both open and talking, and there's like an equal vibe going on here. So let's pull some cards to see what you are presenting externally and what they are presenting externally. Basically, your projection of what you want others to think and feel is going on with you, as well as with your person over there. All right, so inside of you, or I'm sorry, Aries, external, we have the Two of Karmic Energy. So Aries, you are really suspicious of your person, and you're not holding back on that. Like, you are not pretending whatsoever. Like, you're not trying to hide that you are suspicious and concerned and kind of untrustworthy, like untrusting, questioning things here. And they are projecting, okay, well, this is why. Two of ego energy. So you have two of karmic energy. They have two of ego energy. They are projecting to you, or projecting externally, that, you know, they're just kind of a player energy. Nothing gets to them. Nothing touches their heart. I'm just going to play with you. And Aries, like, you see that. And so, like, you're like, okay, yeah, you know, you might have some emotions going on here, but this is who you are, and you can't fool me twice. Like, I'm done with this. But the interesting thing is, Aries, this person really is changing and growing within. However, with this, it's like maybe they're still projecting the old image, old facade of themselves because they feel like that is like what you're attracted to, or that's what originally attracted you or pulled you in. As they're changing internally, it's like really hard for them to like project that outwardly in the proper fashion, which they just, I don't know, either they just play games or they're back and forth, or you just really view them as like a player, wishy-washy, cannot be trusted, and that's, you know, a hard energy for them to deal with and accept. So I don't know, I kind of feel like they're putting on a facade here of like maybe how good their life is, or just something just is amiss here, Aries, because there's a lot of growth going on within them, and so why they would still be projecting this weird, like, I'm going to just play with your heart energy, or maybe Aries, they see that about you, okay? They may think, oh, you're just going to play with my heart, and you're like, no, you're just playing with mine. Like, it's kind of like you call them the heartbreaker, they call you the heartbreaker, and that may be like the cycle that you want to break free of, Aries. So let's pull some dice. To get 6, let's see, I got 5, so I need one more. Okay, so over here on your side, Aries, we have the Tower, we have the Empress, and we have the Hierophant. So you have 3 major arcana coming out as a representation of you in this energy right here. Over on this side, we have the 10 of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Cups. Okay, so Aries, man, I kind of do feel like you guys aren't together or something, or like maybe you live separately. If you are committed, there's like this distance here between the two of you, but it doesn't feel like a total disconnection. All right, and I don't know if that's just because you guys are really joined spiritually, or if that's like you keep in contact, but it's not like a deep, solidified, committed relationship, even though there's like a lot of emotions involved here, okay, and also reaching out. So Aries, over here on this side, what I see is, man, it's almost like, you know, think of a butterfly, okay? The butterfly has this like natural course of things, all right? It's a caterpillar, right? It starts there. And at some point in the caterpillar's life, there's this internal calling and instinct to like wrap itself in a cocoon. You know, it's just time. And the caterpillar just, it can't do anything but that. Like, that's what it's programmed to do at a certain stage. Like, that's what must be, and then it transforms into the butterfly in the cocoon, and that's kind of what I feel like is happening here. But this person, it's like they're trying to fight it, okay? This natural evolution and process and expansion of their being, of their emotions, of their mind, just who they are. They're transforming, but it's almost like they're trying to fight it, or they have little faith in what's on the other side of it. There's this reluctance to come into the new, like let go of the past, let go of the old, and come into like this new energy, this new version of who they are. And what's interesting is like after they transform and they move through this process, you guys definitely, you know, come together here. There's a connection, a reunitement. So again, it's like really vague for me. It doesn't feel like this relationship is disconnected, but at the same time it does, because over here on your side, Aries, we have the Tower, the Empress, and the Hierophant. So there's like some major shocking developments in a positive way for you with this connection, this love story in August. Just whatever's going on in this person's life, what they're telling you, their next move, them maybe even just reaching out to you, it brings about like quite the shock to you. But this is a fertile like beginning. It's a shifting of things. And with the Hierophant, like there's some divine intervention going on here for me in this reading. So Aries, let's pull some dice and see what's happening between the two of you, the energy there. Ooh, okay, I see now. Okay, so we have this Seven of Swords. We have the Death dice. And we have the Nine of Wands. Okay, so Aries, there is a heavy burden that exists between the two of you. This connection has really been tested and challenged based on this Nine of Wands and this Seven of Swords. Now, Aries, just based on this, definitely there has been some deception, there has been some lies, there has been some games on one side or maybe both sides. You know, this is a general reading. But what I see here is, like, I really want to be with Aries. I want to get past things, but I don't know if that's possible. And it's almost a fear of letting one's guard down and being vulnerable based upon what's happened in the past. Like, will they get me back? Will they just play games with me? Do I even deserve, you know, this type of connection, affection, love, etc.? So there's a bit of apprehension and fear, even though at the core, at the heart, it's like this person's really expanding, transforming, awakening, but they're fighting the process of it for some reason and trying to stay true to like an old version of who they used to be, and it's just not working out. And it's just like the load is too heavy. They really miss you, Aries, or they miss the support. Like there's disconnection, there's distance here, especially with Death there. It's like I feel like things ended because of some sort of deception or betrayal. Like it was just too much at the time, and it's really tested and challenged your feelings for them, and the connection in general. But here comes August, and I just feel like there's things that are kind of turning around, and it shocks you a bit. You know, you never really expected what's coming from this person, okay? But with reaching out, it's like it has to do with some sort of communication, conversation, reconnection. All right, so let's pull some more cards here. So on your side, we have outside influences. On their side, we have possessive. And in between, we have lust. Okay, so Aries, over here on your side, it's pretty apparent that you view a lot of like what's going on here, like it's other people, it's other influences, and especially with like possessive, it's almost like they think, and Aries, you know, this is just what I'm feeling from the cards here, is like you may be very dominating, very controlling, very possessive, maybe jealous and insecure. However, I feel like that type of behavior is triggered because of the way they act, the way they behave, and they take no accountability or ownership for that, and in turn make you feel as though you are, you know, just crazy, overreactive, emotional, all these things, when maybe you, to some degree, you might be overreacting, but it's like they're triggering it, they're facilitating it, they indulge in that. It's a very interesting energy. The closest thing I can think of is like this experience I had with an ex of mine where he was just always really flirty to like everybody, like waitresses, things like that. And he would say, "Oh, it's just my personality," and it wouldn't be like. You know, the waitress would be taking our order and he'd be all cute and whatever with her, and I'm like, she ain't even trying to be cute with you, like what are you talking about? And then he would make me think, oh, you're just insecure, it's just my personality, it's just who I am to flirt so openly. And I feel like that's kind of a similar thing that goes on here. It's like who they are, the way they act, it's like, oh well, that's just who I am, it doesn't really mean anything, like you need to accept that. And you don't need to accept that, Aries. Like, that's inappropriate. There's such thing as respect. And, you know, they just have a really hard time being open, being vulnerable. And the distance and disconnection, I feel, is prompting them to really dig deep within themselves, okay, about the way they treat you and the issues between the two of you, because despite their reluctance, it's just like this natural transformation and realization that's taking place, because with lust here, there is a lot of passion between the two of you, okay? But Aries, it's like you view this person, their lifestyle, their choices, other people around them, like as a huge interference to your connection, and maybe even to some degree you might blame others based upon like how this person behaves. Like you would think, oh well, if they didn't have this set of friends, or if they didn't work at this particular place, or if their family members were different, you know, and to some degree that could be true. But Aries, it's ultimately up to them to, you know, own who they are and be authentic to who they are. And that process is starting to happen, okay? And I do feel like there's going to be some contact, some communication. If you guys aren't already talking, it's just such a interesting vibe here. So I'm going to pull the last dice. All right, so we have the High Priestess, and she sits on top of the Seven of Swords. And next out we have the Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Eight of Cups, followed by the Four of Cups that sits on top. And so Aries, with this, this person could maybe be feeling like you're a missed opportunity at this point. Like maybe they walked away too soon, or if you're the one that walked away, like you walked away too soon, but it's on your side. You're just really distrustful, and you don't want to repeat the same thing with this person again. Like that's where you're at, and you're not even trying to hide that. Like you would tell them exactly how you feel, like call them out and say, I don't trust you. And on their side, it's like they're hiding their vulnerability because of that lack of trust, or whatever's going on there. But again, they're not taking the ownership of their hand in your lack of trust in them at this point. And that's kind of like where I feel the standoff is between the two of you, because with the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups there, it's like despite the connection, there's this standoff between the two of you, where you just can't, like they've got to own up to some behavior, I feel, and you've got to not be afraid of, you know, like Aries, if you see changes in them, like truly see changes in them, you've got to kind of give some trust and weight to that, because again, there's this transformation happening. And I can see that you and your connection, they truly desire this, you know, but there's just, man, they need to change their ways for some reason over here. And it could be like, at this point in the game, Aries, do you need to totally forgive them for the past so that you guys can move forward and bridge that distance and disconnection? Because honestly, I can't tell you if you guys are together or broken up, because it's like, I feel like no separation in the energy here. However, I can feel like the distance between the two of you. And it's, you both are like being very stubborn about it. Like you both have your sides, and I just feel over here on this side needs to take more accountability for behavior and actions, and give like this side the freedom and space to work through, you know, the emotions and take the time and energy to rebuild trust. It's like that's what's got to happen here. Trust has got to be rebuilt. But this person, Aries, may very well surprise you because you're coming over here as the Tower, feeling quite shocked, and they are going through some sort of internal change and transformation, okay? But it's like I see a lot of stubbornness, but finally a bit of a breakthrough, okay? About just, I don't know, like it could just be, I really miss you, you know, something that simple, or it could be like, okay, let's finally talk about this, because there's still a lot of passion and heat and chemistry between the two of you. No question there, Aries. So anyways, Aries, those are your messages for your love story for August. I am wishing you all the best. Take care.